Hi guys, welcome to my workshop. Now I'm not a video expert or an IT wizard, and some of you may have already guessed that previous experiences, but I thought I'd make a short video on well, several things actually, all about two-stroke engines. And one of the things is that is very important in two-stroke engines is, of course, fuel. You're not going to go anywhere or do anything unless you've got fuel to burn. So I just thought I'd show you what that entails. Now, two-stroke requires an oil to be mixed with the petrol. The reason for that is that it needs lubrication. In a four-stroke engine, you'll find that there's a separate oil cylinder, and the crankshaft and everything is almost immersed in oil all the time. But in a two-stroke engine, you don't have that system. You have a mixture of oil and water, which, when it goes through the carburetor and everything, becomes atomized. So I thought I'd show you how we mix this stuff. This, and I'm pretty sure you won't be able to see this, but this is a graduated bottle. I don't know whether you may be able to see that, but there are lines here, and that's for different ratios of oil and petrol. So what we're going to do is we're going to mix them up, and we're going to use a ratio of 40 to 1. So 40 parts petrol to 1 part oil. So we'll get this filled up to those lines. This is the sort of oil I'm using. This is recommended for outboard engines, and it's supposed to be extremely good for our application too. So always use a funnel. I've spilt so much petrol in my past years because of that. I've even spilt petrol with the funnel. But anyway, so we'll pour some petrol in. Where are we? A bit more. Okay, that seems to be about right. This, by the way, we've always called a jerry can. Steel made, pressed out, then welded all the way around. Very good. You'll see them on the backs of trucks quite often. So let's make sure that we've got this right. That's nicely drained off. And we'll add some oil. Okay, so I've added enough oil to bring it up to the second line, so it's got the right ratio of oil to petrol, and that's the fuel for two-stroke. Now, if you don't get the ratio right, there can be problems arise. Of course, if you do too little oil, then it will be it won't provide that lubrication for the parts of the engine. But if you do too much, then it will burn the oil and create a lot of smoke coming out of your exhaust. So, which is not good. Not good for the environment, and not good for you, in actual fact. So, right, so that's the starting point for any two-stroke engine operation. Thanks. What I'm going to show you now is a brush cutter engine, and I'm hoping my friend's going to inset a picture of this in operation in the top left-hand corner there. So, elements of the two-stroke engine obviously you've got your petrol tank, that's full with some fuel, and you've got your petrol line here, which is leading into the carburetor. There's a shut-off valve here, obviously to stop the flow of fuel to the carburetor when needed. The carburetor has a choke on it. Remember what I say about the choke? It is literally what its name is implying. We choke off the air, allow a richer fuel mixture to go through to the carburetor for the first few strokes in order to get it going. Once it gets going, you shut off the choke, allow the air to mix in with the fuel. So we have an air filter for the carburetor, because if you don't have such a filter, then you'll get all sorts of dust and everything into the you need air to be drawn in all the time, therefore it's sucking the air in, and it will suck in any of the dust particles around. And if you're cutting dry grass, you get a lot of dust particles. So we need things like air filters, and they need to be cleaned out quite regularly. Down here we have the pull cord. Now this does two things. It will turn the crankshaft with the flywheel. There's a pulley attached to it with the cord wrapped around it. You pull this, it pulls the flywheel. The flywheel has magnets on it, and that is part of the magneto system. It will send an electric current up to the spark plug. It'll also compress the fuel at the same time. So this is a rather important aspect of it. So pulling the pull cord, driving the flywheel, creating the magnetic contact, which creates the electrical flow, and to the spark plug, which is up here, which you can't see just at the moment. I'll turn it around so you can have a better look. Out here you've got this is all to do with the exhaust system. The cylinder and everything is inside the casing. I'm not going to take off the casing to show you just yet, but we have other instruments that we can do that with. Around the other side we have the drive shaft. So in here you've got the crankshaft, which will exit the engine and connect to the drive shaft to the component here. So very simple architecture. You see it in most engines, 4-stroke and 2-stroke. So this short look will help you sort of identify it in real life. So here we have another common gardening implement, particularly here in Malaysia, in the rural areas of Malaysia, that is. But you'll find them on the streets with the road sweepers and this sort of thing. This is a Husqvarna, quite a popular make in the West, in actual fact. There's all the elements, although most of it is concealed in this rather nice casing. The petrol tank, the carburettor's inside this casing. But you have the pull cord, so the pull cord will be on a flywheel, a pulley which is attached to a flywheel, and the flywheel will have a magnet on it, and it will complete the magneto system. Underneath here is a spark plug. You have a throttle and a throttle setting, a speed setting that you can adopt. You have a primer bulb. Now the primer bulb should be full of fuel, so you press it until you get a good fuel mixture in there, and that's delivered fuel to the carburetor. We have a choke on this one, and that, as its name implies, chokes off the air, so it enriches the mixtures to the carburetor. So we're going to strike her up and possibly be showing you some action.